Save this video for your next Japan trip because today we are going over some popular Japanese beauty products. I did a video like this last year and you guys seem to really like it, so I thought we could do a part 2. Let me know if you want a part 3. I definitely can do that, but I'll have that video in the cards and also down below in the description. I would still recommend checking out that first video because I feel like that had more like the typical viral products, whereas in today's video I feel like a lot of these are popular but maybe you haven't heard of. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started with the review. So first up, I actually wanted to talk about some contact lenses. Typically I always wear ODEN'S, which is Korean, or Moody lenses, which is Chinese, but last year while on my trip I did pick up a few lenses from the brand Moodylence, and I don't know how popular they are in Japan, but I feel like they would be quite popular because Sakura from Le Seraphim is their model or the ambassador. I don't know if she still is, but at the time last year when I was in Japan she was, so I'm gonna assume they are somewhat well known in Japan. Let me know down below if you guys know. But the brand is Moodylence and the style that I'm currently wearing is dark peony. I have 2 other styles from them as well, and I will say these are probably one of the most comfortable lenses I have ever worn. Don't get me wrong, I love ODEN'S, I love Moody lenses. Every brand is different and I just feel like this is so comfortable. Like I literally feel like I don't even have lenses in my eyes. I can wear this for a longer period. My eyes don't get dry. So if you guys are into contact lenses and especially more bigger and like enlarging lenses, definitely Japan is the place to get it. A lot of the lenses are a lot bigger because personally I don't like extremely big lenses, but I think the ones that I found were at least in the 14mm, but these will give you a really nice enlargement to the eyes. I think they look really good, honestly. And I just remember like back in the day when I was slowly getting into makeup, like big Japanese circle lenses was literally everything and I always wanted to try them. And then next up we have the Skin Aqua Tone Up UV Essence. This has SPF 50 plus PA++++. It helps to defend UV light and bring out your skin's translucency. I've seen a few creators on TikTok talk highly about this, and it's also highly rated on YESSTYLE as well, so I figured I would give this a go. It seems like it's quite popular. There is a few variations of this one as well, but I got this one specifically in the pink and blue packaging, and it does come out lavender. So essentially what a tone up essence is, if you're not too familiar, it is a little bit tinted, and again it can come in a few different variations. This one is purple. I have one from Tia that's pink. There's also green, so it really depends on your skin concerns, but essentially it is very sheer and translucent. But what it's gonna do once it's blended in is just brighten up your skin tone, even out your complexion. Like this one says that it brings out your skin's translucency. So you can see the difference already between my 2 hands. It's something very subtle, and this one is very subtle. Like when you squeeze it out, you see the purple, you might be like, oh wow, this is not it. It blends in so quickly into the skin. It works great as a primer. It doesn't disrupt your foundation or anything like that, and you're not gonna see that lavender or that purple come through, but what you're gonna see is that your skin tone is just going to be slightly brightened and evened out, and that's what I love about Tone Up Essence. It's just a great primer to use, and it's great that you have that extra SPF added into it as well. What I have heard is a lot of makeup artists, they'll use Tone Up Essence like on the body. This is something I can relate to because my skin is different colors everywhere. Face, my neck, my chest, and my arms are all different shades. So matching my foundation, it's a bit hard because it's like, do I want to match it to my chest? Do I want to match it to my neck? Do I want to match it to my arm? And what I saw, I forgot where I saw it, but they'll use Tone Up Essence on the other areas to brighten up the complexion to match your face, because typically my foundation shade is a little bit lighter than the darkest point of my skin. So like my arms is probably the most tan, and as you can see, it does not match. But what they'll do is use a Tone Up Essence on the neck, on the chest, wherever, to kind of balance that out. Because it's not a foundation or a tinted moisturizer where it could transfer, this literally just feels and looks like a moisturizer, but it's gonna help balance that out. Does that make sense? So Tone Up Essence you can use for a lot of things. You can use it as a primer, you can use it on its own, you can use it to balance out your skin. So for this, I see the hype. would recommend myself as well. The next product, I actually haven't seen anyone talk about it, but it caught my eye while I was shopping at my local Japan Mart, because when I saw this, it had so many stickers on the side that it won so many awards. This is the Calypso Magic Concealer. I got it in the shade Pink Beige, and as you can just see from the packaging why it just caught my attention. I mean, with all of these awards that has won on the side, and then when I saw this photo on the cover, and like obviously it is just advertising, but I'm like, okay, it really must be magic and it must have like really high coverage. So I've actually had this for a while now. I've been testing it out here and there, and I will say it does have pretty good coverage. I'm not gonna say it's the most highest coverage ever. I would probably say maybe more like medium to high, but I guess when you have that expectation, when you see that photo, like you think it's gonna blur out everything, like you wouldn't need to color correct, but you will still need to color correct, you know what I mean? But the formula on this, I actually have been pretty impressed by. You guys know me, my favorite concealer is the Too Faced Born This Way. Nothing has ever topped that. You know, I will find concealers that I like, but I wouldn't find concealers that I love and would beat my Too Faced one. This in comparison to Too Faced, just because that's my favorite, I'm gonna compare it to that. Too Faced is a lot more creamier. This one, it is not as creamy. You don't have much time to maneuver this. It does set in fairly quickly, so I would say apply it and then start blending it out. It's a really amazing concealer, guys. It does not cling on to any dry patches. It doesn't emphasize any dry texture or anything like that. It's not my absolute favorite concealer, but I would probably put this at like second or third place. Like, it goes up there. It's a very good concealer. I will say for the color though, I got mine in Pink Beige. I wouldn't say this is very pinky. I would say it's probably just like a little bit more neutral, if anything. It's a very thin texture, but it has that coverage in it, which makes it really amazing. And I feel like that's why it doesn't cling on to any dry patches, if that makes sense. So really have been loving this concealer. I would also recommend as well. Then for some powders, I have these from Can Make. It's their Silky Loose Moist Powder. I got it in number 1, which is like the beige color, and then number 2, which is the lavender. So I saw a girl on TikTok like rave about this loose powder, how it's gonna blur and mattify you, and you guys know me. I love loose powders. I love to look matte. I don't want to look shiny at all, right? So when I saw her video, I was like, consider me influenced. I think they also have a pink as well, but maybe at the time when I was purchasing, it might have been out of stock, which by the way, all of these products are available on YESSTYLE. Use code YESJUDY at checkout to save a little extra. But yeah, I just got these two. The one I'm wearing today is number 1, just like the beige skin tone color. I just used my own powder puff. It does come with the puff in here, which is good, but I still prefer my own powder puff. And this is going to blur, it's going to mattify your skin without it looking very dry. I think that's what's in the name, how it's like silky and it's moist. Like my skin kind of looks like marshmallow right now. It's very plump. It's not very drying at all. So I guess if you have really dry skin but you're scared to use powder, maybe give this a go. Let me know how it is. Like, I don't have dry skin, so I can't say for sure, but I could imagine some with dry skin perhaps liking this. I guess if you have dry skin, like maybe you never sit your face down because you wouldn't need to, I don't know, but I can imagine it being good because it doesn't emphasize any texture, any dryness under my skin. It looks great. It looks very plump, and Can Make is really affordable, so if you wanted to try different colored loose powders but you didn't want to splurge, like my favorite one is from Fenty Beauty, the lavender powder from them. It's expensive though, but Can Make does have a lavender in here. I will say for the lavender though, the lavender is quite strong, so it comes off a lot more white on the skin, so just be aware. Just go in with a little, and I have used a few lavender powders at this point. The Fenty Beauty one is still my favorite, but out of all the lavender powders I have tried so far, this one definitely is the strongest in terms of color. So definitely go in with a little bit and then work your way up from there. But regardless, these powders are also really great too. I don't know if these are like my absolute favorite powders. I feel like as an oily skin girl, oily combination skin girl, I still like my Fenty one, but these, I mean, for the price point, you can't compare, right? And then for brows, I have this brow pencil from the brand YESSTYLE. Either my friend Denise got this for me when she went to Japan, or my friend Ren, who lives in Japan, sent this to me. I cannot remember, but this is a really interesting product. On one side, it has the pencil, which is a little bit thicker for my liking. I always like something a little bit more skinny, more micro. However, I still can make this work. Then on the other side, we have the spoolie, but in the middle, you can actually twist the pen open and you get this like little sponge that has powder on it, which I think maybe inside the pencil, there is some powder that the sponge like dips into. And for me, this is like really ideal because I always use a brow pencil and a brow powder, and it's just like a lot of tools, right? With this, you just have it in one place. Really liked how my brows turned out today. I did have to go in with a skinnier brow pencil just for that more definition that I couldn't get from this. I think I would really like this. I think the sponge applicator for the powder gives a very soft effect, which was really nice. So I really did actually enjoy this. I think I could have loved it so much more if the brow pencil was skinnier, but other than that, I think it's a really like cool, innovative product. So maybe for me, I'm a little bit more technical with my brows, but for someone that already has like pretty full brows, you only need a little bit of touch up, this could be like the product for you. Then for my eye look, I use a mix of these two palettes here. The first one being from the brand Milli Fee. I thought this was a Chinese brand, but then I googled it and it said it's from Japan, so I hope that was correct. But this is a really cute palette because the pans are in a shape of a little cat paw print, and if you know anything about me, you know I'm a crazy cat lady, so this is so cute. The shadows are not baked, but they're like more rounded out, so it really looks like plump toe beans. It's seriously so cute. This one was a gift from my friend Ren. She sent this over to me. I would say the formula on this, it is a little bit more subtle, which I don't mind because they still blend out really easily. They don't look patchy on the eyes at all. But then I went into the Can Make Plum Piku Coordinate Eyes palette. This was from their strawberry collection, which I saw a lot online and I feel like got a lot of attention. But this is a number 4, and I just used that lighter pink at the inner third for my eye look. And I will say, looking at the back of this now, it does seem like this palette is specifically for YESSTYLE, which makes so much sense because that lighter pink is much more satin-like. It's not very metallic at all. It's very subtle. So I can see why this would be an YESSTYLE little palette. Even the little brush here, this little contour shade. So I think I used this a little bit wrong. I didn't do a YESSTYLE today. For me, the two palettes are pretty, but not my absolute like top favorites. But still on the eyes, I do have a liquid liner I want to talk about. This is the Liquid Love Liner. I have it in dark brown. I also have it in a special edition. This was the collab with Kurumi and My Melody. I also have the Cinnamon Roll edition, but in the pencil form. This one is really cute too. I don't know if this specific edition is still available, but Love Liner is very, very popular, very iconic liquid liner. It has a brush tip that comes to a very micro point. So even if we compare this to some skinnier eyeliners, for example, like the Judy doll one, yes, the Judy doll one is thinner, but this comes to such a fine tip that I don't really see much of a difference with application. It's still very easy to apply because it is a brush tip. It is more flexible. It's just very easy to use. The color is very pigmented, doesn't bleed out. It really is just a solid liquid liner and just popular for a very good reason. And then for mascara, I finally tried like the #1 mascara, which is from Kiss Me. It's my first time trying this out, which I know like everyone raves about this. And even when I went to Japan last year, I did purchase some, but I purchased it for my friends and family to try. When I went to Japan last year, I was restocking on my favorite Japanese mascara, just like my favorite mascara period, which is the Oprah My Lash Mascara. I was restocking on this, not this, but I was like, you know what, let me just try it and let me see what the hype is about. So I have the micro edition. I don't think this one is the popular one, but you guys know me, I love my tools to be very small, micro and skinny. But I will say I definitely see the hype and why people love this mascara. Now again, I have the micro version. I don't know how the wand will differ between each style. The bristles, it kind of, how do I describe this? It's like a comb. It literally looks like a comb, like there's a gap between each bristle. So the way that this coats the lashes, it really does separate each lash while giving it its texture. I haven't tried a mascara that like sets down so quickly because I was trying to go in with a second coat, but I felt like my lashes have already set and they were already solidified. So you don't have much time to kind of maneuver with this. You gotta act fast. But in saying that, I can see how this would hold up a curl, and I think that's the main thing that I've heard about this mascara, is that it will hold up a curl. I have a lash lift, so I don't know how well it's gonna hold up a curl, but it just solidifying that quick, I can kind of see how that would happen. So all in all, I can see why everybody loves this. I personally like it too, but I would say that the Oprah My Lash is still my favorite, because with the Oprah My Lash, this formula, I love it on my top and bottom, but for this I only like it on my top. I personally don't love it on my lower lash line. It's a bit harder to grip, but regardless, I can see the hype. I would definitely say like give it a try if you have not already, or if you're in Japan, like stock up while it's cheaper there. But definitely I can see it now, and I can see myself using this one a lot too. So now I can say I've tried a Kiss Me mascara and I get it. I get it. I get why the girls love it. But now on to the last products. I have these from Can Make. It's their powder cheek blushes. I have it in 4 different shades, but the color I'm wearing today is number 1. And these blushes, I feel like I saw got a lot of hype online just because of the imprint, the little heart shape. It looks like the Powerpuff Girl heart, which is super, super cute. And I feel like Can Make in general is like the more well-known Japanese makeup brand, and I also just really love Can Make. But I was really excited to get these blushes, who my friend Ren also sent me all 4 shades for me to try, and all 4 shades are satin blushes, so they are going to give you like a very soft, like luminous look. These are also quite buildable as well. They're not pigmented right off the bat, which I feel like is good, especially if you have a heavy hand with blushes like me. Having a more buildable blush really helps to control that heavy hand. But it's really pretty, and I feel like my skin is just glowing. Like a mix with the powder, I feel like it looks like mochi. I will say that the colors though do go a little bit light. I can really see that number 1 and number 3 probably are the ones that will show up on me. The rest I would probably just use as a highlight, which is still pretty as well because they are more satin-like. So anytime that I want to look a little bit more glowy, I will definitely go in with these blushes. These are so, so pretty, and they're also, again, it's Can Make, so it's a very, very affordable. I would also recommend. And I feel like throughout this video I really was like recommending everything, but honestly I loved everything. Maybe not loved everything, but I really liked everything. Some things I love more than the others, but nothing was bad. I would at least recommend giving it a go. A lot of the products are very affordable as well. But definitely let me know if there are any other popular Japanese makeup products you want me to try out. I definitely can do a part 3. I've also done this type of video on K-beauty and C-beauty as well, which I'll have also linked down below in the description. But let me know if there's anything else you want me to try. I would try it. But with that being said, guys, that does conclude today's video. If you did enjoy, if you found it helpful, if you could give the video a thumbs up for me. Also, I don't ever say this, but like if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're almost at 200k, which is very exciting. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching as always. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.